Welcome to Whips in the Dungeon 101.16. Today we're going to talk about how to tie a cracker on a fall. And this actually, I don't cover this in my workshop because it requires close-in work. And it's described in my book, but there's nothing like a video. And actually, I'm going to tell you to look at and listen to your fall. Today's example, we've got 3 different bull whips, all made by Peter Jack. They're all 4-foot bull whips, and the fall on each one of these whips is going to require a different technique to tie the cracker onto it. In fact, there's probably another half dozen methods for tying a cracker on. I'm just going to show you 3 common ones. And a lot of it depends on the way the fall was finished by the whip maker. In this particular whip, you can see the fall was finished and it kind of moderately wide at the end, and the whip maker put a slit in the middle of the fall. So you would take a fid or a dental pick and open that slit up and slide the eye of the cracker through, and when it comes out the other side, then you would just thread the cracker through that eye and form what I'm going to call a ring knot or an encompassing half hitch. And then when you pull that snug, you've now tied that cracker on this type of fall, one that has a slit in the middle. If the taper or the fall is cut with a nice thin taper where it tapers down into a point, this is actually my preferred method of tying a fall on it. It's very secure. The leather's gonna be thin enough in the fall that you can roll it around and make a loop. Think of that as like a bunny rabbit hole. And then you're gonna take the cracker, the eye of the cracker, and jump it down through the hole. Bifocals create an additional problem for this. And then coming out the underside of the hole, you're going to take the eye of the cracker and loop it over the tip of the fall, that little piece of leather. And then when you pull, you try to pull that cracker back through the hole, and it causes the leather to cinch back on itself. And you end up with a knot like that. Okay, once you've done that, once you've pulled that eye and that hole closed, you're going to want to crack that whip to set that knot. Okay? Now, what do you do if the fall it's cut a little thicker, but it's not so thick that they would put a slit in the middle of the fall, but this is too thick to roll around and make a loop? If you tied the cracker on like I just showed you, you'd end up with this big, huge leather knot. So now we're going to actually have to tie the fall, or the cracker, onto this fall instead of the fall onto the cracker. So in this instance, I'm going to take the loop, the cracker loop, and slip it right up over the fall itself. And then above the eye of the cracker, I'm going to make a loop. And some people call this a ring knot, other people call it a half hitch, but I'm gonna tie a half hitch and cinch that back down onto the eye of the cracker. Now the problem with this particular method is that a lot of times the cracker will go flying off the whip when you crack it. If you find your crackers flying off a lot, I don't know if you noticed it, but I had taken a knife. Let me see if I can get this off really quick. I probably should have showed you that before I tied it on. So this is why a fid is handy, a fid or a dental pick. This cracker had been flying off this fall a lot, so I took a knife and I just put a little bitty nick. You don't want to go too deep, but a little bitty nick on the side of the fall, and that helps this cracker take a bite. And once it takes a nice bite, then it won't go flying off. So once again, real quick, we'll try this. Okay, we're going to make a half hitch and cinch the knot back. Whoop. Bifocal's got me again. I'm looking through the camera lens and trying to tie this at the same time and keep it in view for you. So our video editing is going to be really bad today. Okay, so there we have it. 3 ways of tying a cracker on a fall. Let the fall determine the method that you use to tie the cracker on. By the way, the whip maker finished the fall. Let the fall speak to you. Today's keyword is bullwhip.